Welcome to Tripping Through Transformation. I'm your host, Guillaume Poirier, and I'm inviting you on a journey that will expand your outlook on life. Join me as we delve into the realms of mental health, resilience, personal growth, community, and alternative healing. Through personal narratives and expert insights, we'll explore the transformative power of shared stories. Get ready to escape from narrow perceptions and dive into a world of diverse perspectives. Tripping Through Transformation is where stories become pathways to empowerment. Welcome, Trippers, to another episode of Tripping Through Transformation. It's episode 9, first episode of the new year, and I'm trekking along on my journey, always trying to learn new things, have new experiences. For us today, I've got a great team, a power couple, if anything. Dr. Isabelle and Chef Michael Hunsinger. They are the founders of the Healthy Brain Club and Doctor on a Mission. They're also the hosts of the MD and Chef show. I'm excited to talk to them about health, mental health, and sleep. There we go. I knew I was going to remember what it is. We're going to talk about sleep. So without further ado, here is Dr. Isabelle and Chef Michael Hunsinger. Balance, drop the beat.
Balance makes it bang.
Guys, welcome to the show. I think I need some sleep because I almost forgot what we're going to talk about today.
It's very easy to not get enough good sleep in this world.
Tell me about it.
Fantastic to have us on for Tripping Through Transformation. Thank you for that, because we're in Friday. And so
that's
it's already
right.
Friday morning here. We're in Friday morning sunshine, and I think you're still on Thursday. So come on.
Yeah, you guys are in beautiful New Zealand, and I'm freezing in Canada. But
sorry, spring's coming, I promise.
Yeah. Also, I think I was listening to your show, and you said you guys are also recreating yourselves in your 50s and 60s, right? So welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, 40s was, just professional couple just going at it, doing life, and going through the supposed grind, and moved to New Zealand in our 40s from America. Massive move with a couple young daughters, and recreate ourselves in our 50s as entrepreneurs and trying to move out of that type of life and learning how to be an entrepreneur. And now in our 60s, still kind of recreating ourselves and what our mission is for the rest of our life.
Until 100.
And on and beyond.
And beyond 100.
Yeah, so come on, keep on going.
I'm trying to keep up with you.
You guys definitely have the energy. One of the first things I noticed when you guys joined the NGBN family, and I started to see your content on social media, and I was like, you guys have such an amazing chemistry. You can really tell you guys love each other. Like it just shines right through everything you're doing. So I'm happy to have you guys on.
It's been work, just so you know. It's been work. This isn't how it really started, babe. Come on.
Oh, it was easy for me.
No, it was, so liar.
So tell me a little bit about you guys. Like, Isabelle, you're a doctor, and Michael, you're a chef. So tell me about that.
Well, yes, I was trained as a conventional medical doctor in America, in Colorado, and graduated in 1991 from Colorado Medical School. And then we moved here to New Zealand in 2000. And the reason we moved is because I was really discouraged with healthcare in America. Because people, I thought, this isn't healthcare. We've got disease management. All we're doing is just giving people pills or sending them to surgery or another consultant, my patients weren't getting better because I was trained as a family practice doctor. And then we moved here to New Zealand, and that's where I learned about functional medicine. And functional medicine is the way medicine's going to be in the next 20 years. But, you know, as medicine, it's like moving the Titanic. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take about 20 years. But functional medicine is the way of medicine, and that's where we look upstream. We look at the root cause, like, why is this happening to the person, instead of just dropping pills and
Right.
you know.
Instead of just dealing with the symptoms as opposed to addressing the problem.
Right.
Yes, exactly. You got it. Yeah.
And then Micah.
And then for me, I mean, my background was being a traditional chef, executive chef in private country clubs and hotels in the US and going at it 70, 80 hours a week. But here in New Zealand, I retrained as what's called a culinary nutrition expert, a nutritional chef, and I help people with their brain health as far as how does nutrition affect our brain health, because if we don't have a healthy brain, guess what? The brain controls 100% of everything we do. When we breathe, it's controlled by the brain. When our blood flows, it's controlled by the brain. Every organ in our body, our physical health cannot be good if our brain health is not good. So I started just working and diving into that area. And that's my area of expertise, shall I say. How does nutrition affect our body? Is it poison or is it medicine? Because it could go either way.
Yeah.
Right. So then how did you guys go from that to where you're at today with Doctor on a Mission, the Healthy Brain Club, and now having your own show, MD and Chef Show?
Well, so we were here in 2000, and in 2013, I said, babe, I'm not happy.
Oh, by the way, babe, that's me.
That's, yeah. And I just said, babe, I am not happy being a doctor. This is just not the way I want to do this, because I just know that I'm not helping people. And so I started seeing doctors my mentor, Dr. Mark Hyman, who's a functional medicine doctor. He was on social media and he was teaching people and encouraging people. And you'd see all these comments and people were like, wow, this is great. And people getting better. So I said, I want to start doing functional medicine on social media, and let's just, help heal the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Michael is so supportive, and his characteristic is he's a maximizer. So he makes everything work. I'm like how do you explain it?
Well, I always say, if you think about a sailboat, you're the wind in the sail. But there's a lot of power going there, but if there's nobody steering the ship, who knows where it's going to go. So I'm kind of, I steer that, what happened back then. I mean, it wasn't an easy decision.
No.
I mean, after being a doc for, 25, 30 years, it was, okay, I'm going to give up that yearly salary, that quote, secure salary. And I'll just go out and kind of do what's called locum work while I fill in for other doctors. But I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to start an online business, online consultation. And, this was back in 2013, so 10 years ago, which it wasn't really kind of looked at that wonderfully at the time. And let's go do this and start Doctor on a Mission and give up the secure salary and go for it. So it wasn't an easy decision, but I was like, okay, well.
But it was the right decision. You know how you have to just jump out of the boat and start swimming?
Yeah.
So we did that in 2013. And so in 2013, okay, we're doing Doctor on a Mission. We want to help prevent and reverse disease and give people hope. Well, God had a different plan in mind. And he said, no, you're going to learn a lot more than that. And in 2014, I'm a wife, a mother, a doctor, and now a brand new entrepreneur. And business
in your 50s.
In my 50s. And I was 54 at the time. And I wasn't the funds, the revenue wasn't coming in to keep supporting us. And I felt like I had made a deadly decision for our family, and I felt terrible. And I got very anxious. And when I get anxious and worried, I don't sleep. And so what happened was I only slept for 2 hours for 17 straight nights. And by the end, so I was I was hallucinating, I was paranoid, I was psychotic. And I tried to take my life twice in 3 days after not sleeping. And by the grace of God, that plan was stopped. Michael took me to the doctor, and the doctor said, okay, Isabelle, you're gonna a psychiatrist. And for a doctor to see a psychiatrist is not a good thing. It's not a good look.
Is it frowned upon?
Very
frowned upon? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. A doctor being in the mental health system, the word gets around really quick. All of a sudden, there's a tick against, or be blacklisted, for work.
And the doctor said, Isabelle, I'm gonna help you. You're gonna be on this antidepressant and this sleeping tablet for the rest of your life. And Guy, at that time, I had totally surrendered. I was like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do, because I realized I just was sleep deprived. And so I took the medicine, but deep down inside, I knew that we'll see about that. We'll see if I'm going to be on this for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. And so Michael and I went on a journey about understanding what it's like to be dropped in the mental health industry. And it's ugly, and it's not supportive. And all they do is just treat the downstream event, which is anxiety and depression. Nobody was talking to me about coming off the medication or teaching me how to come off the medication. So Michael and I went on a journey, and we learned about all the contributors that affect our brain health to get us down there, to get us with anxiety and depression, and actually tip us off the other side with suicide. And so now I'm off the medicine safely. And now we teach people how to work upstream so that they don't have the downstream event. And I know what to do to have a good night's sleep.
Well, that's perfect, because that's what we're going to jump into in our next segment. Because like I was saying before the show, after I lost my home in 2016, I wasn't sleeping well, and I was also working shift work. So doctor, here's anxiety medication, here's sleeping pills. And to me, I thought the sleeping pills were doing great at the time, but unknowns to me, like other people were witnessing other things, right? They had different perspective of what was going on. And after a year and a half or so, I had to come off because the medication were causing a lot of issues. But we're going to touch on that in the next segment. But first, we're going to just listen to a quick message from NGBN, and we'll be right back.
I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. Can't no one stop me, yeah, bring it in. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. Top down, faded windows tinted. Pushing with it, push it to the limit.
We cannot wait any longer. Men are in need of community, brotherhood, and a place to call home. The time is now, and that place is NGBN TV. Powered by men just like you, dedicated to launching a one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our goal is to inspire, entertain, celebrate, educate, and support men. The NGBN TV sneak peek is launching January 29th. We need you on this journey with us. Ad rates at NGBN TV will never be this low again. So join our movement on ngbn.tv and contact us today. NGBN TV, a network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, coming January 29th.
We'd love to have you join us on the MD and Chef Team Show. I'm Chef Michael, culinary nutrition expert, and I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Isabelle, medical doctor and suicide survivor.
Yes, I was dropped into that world 10 years ago. And what I've come to understand is that we're focusing on the wrong thing, the downstream event of mental illness. We should be focusing upstream to prevent the downstream event. And that's what we do.
So come join us on the MD and Chef Team Show.
All right, welcome back, guys. One of the most staggering statistics that I got from you guys' last episode was that 70 million Americans have sleep issues. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
nuts. So what are we doing to address this other than prescribing sleeping pills?
Well, that's all we as doctors have in our toolkit. That's all we're taught in medical school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know I've spoken to some people and they teach you about sleeping culture, like, going to bed at a proper time and trying to have a sleep habit, regular time, and putting away, your phones, any blue light before bed so that your eyes have time to rest and things like that. We're not really seeing or hearing about that a whole lot. It's mostly about, take this pill and you're good to go.
There's a big $1 trillion industry behind all that. I mean, that's the thing. Just understand that, when you see, commercials on TV and you see somebody, how they show you somebody's having problems with sleep. And then all of a sudden, the flip side, they're like, hey, yeah, what a wonderful day. I'm playing golf and I'm walking and I'm so happy. I had a great night's sleep. And then it's because I took this pill. And so, what we need to do is address that, because that's not, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to just be relying on pills the rest of my life, because it means that pill, that medication controls me. That's not brain health when something else is controlling you. So we need to look like, okay, temporarily. And here's something that, I know Isabelle wants you to understand, and all your listeners to understand, is temporarily, as it was for Isabelle, when you need some help, that's fine. Let's get, temporarily, you need to get some sleep. Cool. The medication's good. Now we need to do some foundational work to understand, how can we titrate you? How can we slowly get you off of that? How can we do the work for you so that you don't get into that position where that controls you, where you're taking control? You're the CEO of your brain health. And that's really what we're looking to address, how you take control.
And Guy, I just wanted to say yesterday, I do some shifts in City Medical, which is an urgent care center. It's like a mini emergency department. And I do it because it keeps me in the front line. Like I'm checking the pulse of everybody, of what it's like in the healthcare system. And this poor man was brought in to me from India, and he has come to New Zealand, and he's living with a lovely family and working as a chef, but he misses his family, his wife, his daughter. So he hadn't slept anymore. He didn't sleep any more than 2 hours for 10 days. And he was starting to hallucinate. And the family was like, what's going on? What should we do? What should we do? So I am so grateful that I know what it's like to be in that space. And so I knew that I had to give him something to help him sleep for the next 7 nights straight. And it's medicine, but that's the quick fix. Then he's got to learn the sleep hygiene. He needs to learn all that stuff.
Yeah. So if I recall correctly, for you, what led to you being sleep deprived was that you were just putting in a lot of work hours, right?
And worry.
Well, it was the financial stress. There was some massive financial stress. And for Isabelle, she thought, well, I've just brought this on the family. I'm no good.
So I'm better dead than alive for my family.
Yeah.
And then I worried, and the night times were terrible. Absolutely hell on earth, not sleeping at night.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, for me, it was also work related, working shift work, 12-hour shifts, 3 days, 3 nights, 6 off, but lots of overtime. So just your sleep patterns all over the place. And then, once, my house burned down and I'm going to court fighting for custody of my children, then it's worry. You don't want to sleep. You got a lot of things kind of stacking up against you that's making it hard for you to sleep. And the easy way out is to just take the pill, because it does work. It knocks you out. Yeah. But what I've come to realize, and I didn't know at the time, was, well, I would in my sleep, or I would sleepwalk and I'd wake up with food in my bed, or my temperament would change and I would become more agitated or more prone to being angry, or I would have conversations and just not even remember the next day. I get ready for bed. I'm talking to the girlfriend in bed before I fall asleep. And next thing you know, the next day she's asking me, do you remember what we talked about yesterday? And no, we had a conversation. Right. And those are things that I believe you discuss in your show, is that you lose memory and things like that. So there's definitely pros and cons. So maybe you could talk to that a little bit.
Well, the pros are it gets you to sleep. The cons are the side effects. And that's the problem. A lot of people do have those those symptoms that you were explaining, which is not shown on the commercial. All we see is beauty.
And also we know from our work, because a lot of people who come to us are already downstream, we got to help them. We know the long-term effects. See, that's the other thing they're not talking to you about, is the long-term effects. And we're talking about being on antidepressants or sleeping aids for over a year and longer. A lot of people are on them for many years, sometimes even decades.
Yeah.
And
especially the older people have been on
more
these
mature
for
age. And we know that it's one of the contributors to Alzheimer's. And so that's another factor that they're not saying, like, oh, well, if you stay on this for 10 or 20 years, this is a contributor to Alzheimer's. Well, they're not telling you that, but that's true. So cognitive decline is a contributor to long term. We need to look at that. Also, all these different side effects that it starts to affect your brain health, where memory loss starts coming, fogginess, clarity. Yes, I'm sleeping, but during the day, I'm not quite there. I'm foggy. I've got memory loss. And so those long-term effects is why we need to address that and find out, okay, how do we work toward doing the work to get you off of these? Because long-term, there's some pretty massive side effects that can happen that are not very good.
Right. So from a perspective of a doctor and a chef, what's something that we could do to improve our sleep so that we're not relying on these medications?
I love that question. Well, it all starts by changing our habits.
What time is it?
Well, we can do it.
I know. I'm just playing.
We got time.
Yeah, you go.
It's all about changing our habits. But first, you have to have your why. Why do you want to learn how to come off your medication safely? Well, have your why. For me, my why was I don't want chemicals controlling my body. My why is, after I learned about the possibility of getting Alzheimer's, I don't want a pill to be in control of me getting Alzheimer's, because we now know that 95% of having Alzheimer's is lifestyle choices. I wasn't taught that in medical school. 95% of having Alzheimer's is lifestyle choices, but that's for another show. Let's talk about how we can help people get their health, their sleep under control.
One thing
Did you want to say something?
Yes. I'll work in there somewhere.
Well, I'm catching my breath.
You grab your breath, and then I'll give a couple moments, and then you go. Well, one thing I want yourself and all listeners to take away is there's a wonderful book out there. I don't have the name on me, but you could look it up. It's got to do with the light bulb and our sleep. I don't remember the author. I don't remember the thing, but it's when we had, all of a sudden, we've got the light bulb, when that was invented. Before there was any kind of light, like the light bulb, we had a natural circadian rhythm that went with the sunrise and the sunset. That's the circadian rhythm. And we have a hormone called melatonin. When there's sunset, through our eyes and our body and our brain, melatonin rises. And that's kind of our natural way of the body saying, good night, it's night time, and turning off. Well, once the light bulb was invented, and now not just the light bulb, because we have the lights on, we've got computers, phone. All this bells and whistles and things going at us. Well, we don't have an actual sunset anymore. Yes, the sun goes down, but we don't have a sunset. The brain doesn't see it. So we actually have to trick our brain into sunset so that it starts to create melatonin, which is our body's natural way of saying, oh, it's sleepy time to go to sleep. Because if we don't do that, and then we just go to sleep, well, the melatonin hasn't started, and somewhere during the night it may start, but we haven't naturally done it. So something always to think about is we have to trick our brain into sunset. And there's, and so a lot of the sleep, you can read all about sleep hygiene, but it's kind of like, well, why would I bother? Why sleep hygiene? What's that? That's the reasoning behind it, is we have to trick our brain into understanding that it's actual sunset and melatonin can rise. So that's why we turn off the router at night. That's why we turn off our phone.
Wait. Now you're stepping into my recipe. Hey, be quiet.
Okay, I'm done for now.
Okay, shall we go into the prescription for sleep?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, well, it starts 3 hours before going to bed. And babe, if I forget something, of course, you're going to help me, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So 3 hours before going to bed is when you start getting ready for bed. And it means no alcohol 3 hours before bed, no caffeine, no chocolate, no black tea, no food. That's a hard one for a lot of people.
That's the nutritional part.
Because when you're sleeping, you don't want to be digesting. That requires a lot of work. When you're sleeping, you want to be detoxifying and letting your brain detoxify and your body detoxify. And that only happens when your stomach's not being, digesting food. And then an hour before going to bed, you want to start getting ready for bed. You want to turn down the lights. Dim down the lights, turn off your computer, turn off your phone. Oh, people are like, what? I need
an hour.
No TV.
No TV in the bedroom.
No TV in the bedroom. None of that stuff. And then an hour before going to bed, you're going to do your care. You're going to brush your teeth, take a shower, whatever you do. And that usually takes me about an hour. No, it doesn't take me an hour. But you just want to start letting your body know, okay, I am heading for bed. And then in the bed, you're going to do 3 things. Intimacy.
All at the same time?
No,
not at the same time. Okay.
It's a place where you have intimacy, where you read something positive. If you're going to read something positive, don't read anything negative because that's going to scare you. Read something positive or inspiring, and you want to use blue light blockers or a LED light, and that just helps decrease the light going into the back of your eye, and then you sleep. And before you sleep, you want to make sure you've turned off the router at the wall because you don't want the electromagnetic frequencies pinging through your brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, people always are like, oh, is that going to turn off the refrigerator? No, right?
No.
But
We've had that question. I turn off the router. Does that turn off my microwave and my refrigerator and stuff? I mean, it shouldn't.
But it doesn't.
But yeah, and that goes back to that 1 hour before, 3 hours and then 1 hour. You are tricking your brain into sunset an hour before you actually lay down because it needs to start creating that melatonin, give you that hormone that says sleep.
You're tripping your brain into sleep transformation.
Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, I got excited when you started talking about blue lights because before I was doing this, I was trying to launch a lighting business, and I was learning about dark sky prevention and the impact that having too much light and blue wavelengths particularly impacts us as a society. So that's really interesting. But you're right. All that light, it's not good for us. So I'm glad you brought that up. And there's definitely things we could do to remedy that. Isabelle, I have just one quick question for you as far as melatonin go. Do you know approximately how much we should be taking, like for kids and adults and stuff? Because I hear less is more with melatonin. But...
Yes, you're absolutely right. You want to do physiological doses. And so physiological doses are 0.3 milligram to 0.5 milligrams.
Wow, because I'm pretty sure the tablets usually come in like 10 sometimes, right? So that's a lot.
You're in Canada?
Yeah.
Can you get that over the counter, or is that a prescription?
I'm pretty sure. No, over the counter. I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not making that up, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's 0.3 to 0.5 is usually
10 is way too high then.
Well, for some people, I mean, I can't take 10. I can't take 3 because I start getting heart palpitations. But we also use it for cancer patients, and those are at high doses. So, but for sleep, it's the 0.3 or the 0.5.
Perfect. Well, that's
milligrams.
helpful to me, and I'm sure it'll be helpful to a lot of people out there. And as well, sleep hygiene. We got to look after that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And I
We're
just
gonna-
wanted to say that the 0.3 is what your body's dripping in, 0.3
Okay.
to 0.5. And you want to take it about an hour before you go to bed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll take another quick break with a commercial from NGBN, and then we'll wrap things up.
I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. Can't no one stop me, yeah, bring it in. I came to win, yeah, I came to win. Top down, faded windows tinted. Push it with it, push it to the limit.
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more. Streaming TV for men, created by men.
But why?
Why are we a network that inspires?
Educates, entertains, celebrates, and supports.
Men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, simply to save men's lives.
There is an epidemic in our community.
And it's taking men from us.
I'm talking about mental health and suicide.
But we have an answer, and it's streaming, live shows, sports, concerts, and more.
In a real way for men to lock shields.
We can't wait to launch this TV network for you and with you.
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 Join our movement at ngbn.tv, coming January 2024.
January 29, 2024 to be specific. And you guys are part of this. That's exciting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stirring it up.
Yeah. To wrap things up, for me, I believe that things might just kind of trickle into your life at unexpected times, and wonderful things could come of that. My journey happened because I took an action, not knowing what the outcome was going to be, and it led to something positive. So I always like to give my guests the opportunity to either leave a nugget of wisdom or knowledge or inspiration out into the world that people might stumble into, or if you're struggling with something yourself and you have a question maybe that you want solved, put it out there and never know who's going to hear it. Maybe you'll get an answer. So is there something you'd like to put out there for people?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, Guy, just from a nutritional point of view, what'll help people is look to fast overnight. So from your last meal to the morning, approximately 14 hours. That's kind of the sweet spot for most people. It might be 12 to 16, but about 14 hours, and no food 3 hours before bed. Because the key is, as Isabelle said, you're supposed to be resting at night. So understand that your digestive process takes a lot of energy. Your brain will actually be working if you're digesting food and digesting alcohol and caffeine and that. So that will actually make you work during the night. We don't think about that, but it makes you work. So you want to rest. So an overnight fasting, what's called intermittent, and then also no food 3 hours before bed. Allow the brain and the body to actually rest like it's supposed to.
Yeah, when you put it that way, that your brain's working to digest and you're not really getting that rest. Because I know I'm definitely guilty of eating late at night. So now I'll know, I'll be more mindful. Where can people find out more about you guys? Doctor on a Mission, the MD and Chef Show, and the Brain Health Club, the Healthy Brain Club.
There you go. Well, you can learn more about us. You can learn more about us.
Take it away, Michael.
At doctoronthemission.com, and on the doctoronthemission.com, you'll find the Healthy Brain Club, and it's a monthly membership program that we offer. And Isabelle and I come in there and we teach and we do all kinds of fun stuff, and we make the learning process fun. So
because we learn as a community, we learn from other people's questions, and that's the beauty of that place. The Healthy Brain Club. Yeah.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us here today. We really appreciate it. And love what you're doing. Love your show. And we wish you the best in your process of recreating yourself.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're doing it, man. You're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a process, but step by step. And thank you for coming on. It's very encouraging to me when guests come on and give me the opportunity to do this. So thank you. All right. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap things up. If you want to support me, you can check out my sponsors. Here's one, Go Primal. Check out Chris Fontana's The Primal Mindset show. He's also got GoPrimalUSA.com. You can get some apparel there. Fantastic. I love his shirts. I wear these all the time. They're so soft, and they're fitting without being too clingy, and that's very important to me. Also, check out groundsounds.co if you've got questions on microdosing, or if you're looking for some microdosing, capsules. They've got lots of information there. And of course, ngbn.tv. If you want to support us, go watch our shows and stop by the shop, pick out some cool clothes, and put in tripping 10 at the checkout, and you'll get a discount. And that code actually applies for GoPrimalUSA.com as well too, with Go Primal. So check out those sites, plug in that code, and you'll get some discounts. And finally, don't forget, January 29th, NGBN is launching across all major platforms. Got Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, all of them. We're going to be there. And what we need you guys to do for us is go and download our app on those platforms. We're aiming for 10,000 downloads on day one, and we can't do it without you. So be ready on January 29th, because we're coming at you. Keep tuning into Tripping Through Transformation. I appreciate you. Have a great day.